In 1877, President Grover Cleveland wrote, "Federal aid encourages the expectation of paternal care on the part of the government." What did he mean by paternal care? Well, it's acting in another's supposed best interest through policies or practices that actually restrict the freedom and responsibilities of those in need. Here's an example. I once befriended a man named Randy who was struggling and needed guidance. He was unemployed when we began meeting weekly. At one of those meetings, he shared his excitement about landing a job. I was excited too, and I asked him if it was full-time or part-time. And he said it was part-time and explained, "I can't work full-time because they'll take away my disability benefits." Now, Randy and I knew he had the ability to work full-time. Yet the freedom and responsibility that he needed were restricted by the paternalism President Cleveland referred to. This isn't just a government problem. Our charity can be guilty of establishing the same codependent relationship. You might recall that recurring handouts foster these 5 steps to dependency. Appreciation leads to anticipation, which leads to expectation. Expectation then progresses to entitlement, and entitlement finally gives way to dependency. But the recipient isn't the only one negatively affected. The giver is too, and here's how that plays out. The first is, I'm exhilarated. Well, giving feels good. Initially, it's very energizing. But if we give to feel good more than to do good, we've already taken a step in the wrong direction. The second step is, I'm useful. Now, it isn't bad to feel useful, and it certainly isn't wrong to be useful. However, if we define usefulness as ongoing care, rather than helping others become independent of our care, our usefulness is another step in the wrong direction. The third step is, I'm necessary. At this stage, recurrent one-way giving has created the recipient's unhealthy expectation that you're important to their survival. On the flip side, the giver finds it more difficult to escape fulfilling that expectation. The fourth is, I'm essential. Remember Randy? He believed working full-time threatened the charity he thought was essential. Similarly, our repetitive giving can convince us that we're essential. And the final step is paternalism, which means the recipient has reached a state of full dependency. In other words, they cannot survive without the giver, who believes the same thing. And that kind of unhealthy codependence never results in true equality. Okay, grab a pen and get ready to jot down these takeaways today. First, check your motive. In an interview on charity, John D. Rockefeller said, "Charity is injurious unless it helps the recipient become independent of it." Taking that seriously means thinking long and hard about this important question. Do I want the recipients of my charity to become independent of it? Or would I rather perpetually care for them? I encourage you to check your motive every day by thinking about why you serve and your hopes for the people you serve. Number 2, check your message. Fighting poverty involves providing for others, which makes it very easy to send the wrong message. "We're here to meet your needs" is not what we should be telling people in poverty. Instead, they should hear, "We want to help you get away from being in need." And along those lines, one of our network members asks clients, "What can we do to help you not need us anymore?" So take a look around your shop. What's the main message on your website, your social media? How about the signage in your building? One of our network members changed its website message from feeding the hungry to freeing the hungry. Of no less importance is the message conveyed by your team as they interact with clients. Simply determining someone's eligibility for a good or service communicates something radically different than asking, What are the God-given gifts or skills that you bring to the table? In other words, make every effort to ensure your messaging doesn't signal the beginning of a codependent, paternalistic relationship. And number 3, check your mode. Evaluate your ministry's programs to ensure that they're helping people move from being in need to being a contributor. Remember, if your programs repetitively hand out goods or services, recipients will become dependent and paternalism will take root. Avoiding it may require program changes and new ways of measuring outcomes toward the productive, flourishing life God intends. We did it at our ministry, and it wasn't easy. So I know it's a heavy lift, and that's why our heart is to serve you with tools and training to help. So don't hesitate to call us. Avoid paternalism. Check your motive, check your message, check your mode, and then let's go out there, fight poverty, and win.